Have you ever felt like a small, insignificant piece in a giant, overwhelming puzzle? Like your choices couldn't possibly make a difference in the grand scheme of things? Well, let me tell you the story of a young woman who thought the same. An orphan who found herself at the heart of an empire, holding the fate of her entire people in her hands. This is the story of Esther, a tale of hidden identity, palace intrigue, and the extraordinary power of a single act of courage. Our story begins in the sprawling Persian Empire, ruled by the mighty king Ahasuerus. After deposing his queen, Vashti, for her defiance, the king launches a search for a new queen, a beauty pageant on an imperial scale. From all corners of the kingdom, beautiful young women are brought to the palace in Susa. Among them is a Jewish girl named Hadassah, known to us as Esther. An orphan, she was raised by her loving cousin, Mordecai, who worked as an official at the king's gate. On Mordecai's advice, Esther keeps her Jewish heritage a secret. In a world where being different could be dangerous, her identity was a hidden treasure, locked away for her own safety. Esther's grace and humility capture the heart of everyone she meets, including Haggai, the king's eunuch in charge of the harem. When she is finally brought before King Ahasuerus, he is completely captivated. He places the royal crown on her head and declares her the new queen of Persia. From the outside, it looks like a fairy tale. An orphan girl rises to become the most powerful woman in the land. But a crown can be a heavy burden, and Esther's true test was yet to come. She was in the palace, but she wasn't truly free. She was queen, but she was still hiding who she truly was. Meanwhile, a dark shadow was falling over the empire. A man named Haman the Agagite is promoted to the position of prime minister, second only to the king. Haman is a man consumed by pride and arrogance. King Ahasuerus commands that all royal officials bow down to Haman, but Mordecai, faithful to his God, refuses. He will not bow to any man. This refusal ignites a furious rage in Haman. But his anger isn't just for Mordecai. It extends to Mordecai's entire people. Blinded by hatred, Haman hatches a monstrous plan. He goes to the king, spinning a tale of a scattered and disloyal people within the empire, a people whose customs are different and who do not obey the king's laws. He persuades the king that they are a threat and should be eliminated. He even offers to pay an enormous sum of silver into the royal treasury to cover the costs. King Ahasuerus, perhaps carelessly or perhaps too trusting of his prime minister, agrees. He gives Haman his signet ring, granting him the authority to do as he pleases. A decree is written, sealed, and sent out to every province. On a single day, the 13th day of the month of Adar, all Jewish people, men, women, and children, are to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated, and their property plundered. When Mordecai learns of the decree, he is devastated. He tears his clothes, puts on sackcloth and ashes, the ancient signs of deep mourning, and cries out with a loud and bitter wail in the city square. The news spreads like wildfire, and a great mourning descends upon the Jewish communities throughout the empire. Their world has been turned upside down. A death sentence has been signed, not for a crime they committed, but simply for who they are. Their hope seems lost. Mordecai knows there is only one person who might be able to help, his cousin, the queen. He sends a message to Esther, informing her of the terrible decree and urging her to go before the king to plead for her people. But Esther hesitates, and for good reason. She sends a reply to Mordecai, reminding him of a deadly law of the Persian court. Anyone who approaches the king in the inner court without being summoned will be put to death. The only exception is if the king extends his golden scepter. And Esther has not been summoned to see the king for 30 days. To go to him uninvited is to risk her own life. She is the queen, but she is still subject to the king's absolute power. This is the turning point of our story. This is the moment where fear and faith collide. Mordecai's response to Esther's hesitation is one of the most powerful challenges ever issued. He sends back a message that cuts straight to her heart. Do not think that because you are in the king's house you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. For such a time as this. These words echo through the chambers of Esther's heart. Suddenly, her entire life clicks into focus. Her orphan past, her hidden identity, her unexpected rise to queen. It wasn't random. It wasn't luck. It was destiny. It was providence. She realizes her position isn't just a privilege, it's a profound responsibility. She has a choice to make. Will she play it safe and protect her own life, hoping someone else will save her people? Or will she embrace her purpose, risk everything, and become the hero her people desperately need? Esther's fear gives way to a steely resolve. She makes her decision. She sends her final message to Mordecai. Go, gather together all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. This is not a statement of defeat, but one of immense courage and faith. She is placing her life and the fate of her people into the hands of God. After 3 days of fasting and prayer, the moment of truth arrives. Esther puts on her royal robes and stands in the inner court of the palace, directly in front of the king's hall. The king is sitting on his royal throne, and when he sees Queen Esther standing in the court, his heart softens. He finds favor in his sight. He holds out the golden scepter that is in his hand. Esther approaches and touches the tip of the scepter. She has survived the first, most dangerous step. The king asks her, "What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you." But Esther doesn't blurt out her plea right away. She is wise and strategic. She knows timing is everything. Instead, she invites the king and Haman to a banquet she has prepared. Haman is thrilled to be singled out for a private banquet with the king and queen. His ego swells to bursting point. He leaves the palace feeling on top of the world. But on his way out, he sees Mordecai at the king's gate, once again refusing to bow. All his joy turns to ash. His pride is so fragile that one man's defiance ruins his entire day. When Haman gets home, he boasts to his wife and friends about his wealth, his sons, and his incredible honor. But he ends by complaining, "All this gives me no satisfaction as long as I see that Jew Mordecai sitting at the king's gate." His wife, Zeresh, and his friends give him a wicked suggestion: build a gallows 75 feet high, and in the morning, ask the king to have Mordecai hanged on it. Then he can go happily to the banquet. The idea pleases Haman, and he has the gallows built immediately. But that very night, a remarkable coincidence, or perhaps a divine intervention, occurs. The king cannot sleep. To pass the time, he orders the book of the Chronicles, the official record of his reign, to be read to him. The reader happens to turn to the very passage that describes how Mordecai had uncovered a plot to assassinate the king, saving his life. The king asks, "What honor and recognition has Mordecai received for this?" His attendants reply, "Nothing has been done for him." Just then, Haman enters the outer court. He has come early to ask the king's permission to hang Mordecai. Before Haman can speak, the king asks him a question: "What should be done for the man the king delights to honor?" Haman, in his overwhelming arrogance, assumes the king is talking about him. So he describes the most lavish, public honor he can imagine. Let them bring a royal robe the king has worn and a horse the king has ridden. And let one of the king's most noble princes lead the man on horseback through the city streets, proclaiming before him, 'This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor.'" The king's reply must have been like a thunderclap to Haman's ears. "Go at once," the king commands. "Get the robe and the horse and do just as you have suggested for Mordecai the Jew, who sits at the king's gate. Do not neglect anything you have recommended." Humiliated and crushed, Haman has no choice but to obey. He, the prime minister, has to lead his sworn enemy through the city in a parade of honor. The very man he planned to execute is instead celebrated by his own hand. Later that day, Haman goes to Esther's second banquet, his head reeling from the morning's events. At the banquet, the king again asks Esther for her request. This time, she is ready. With tears in her eyes and passion in her voice, she makes her plea. "If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition. And spare my people. This is my request. For I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated." The king is stunned. Who is he? Where is the man who has dared to do such a thing? He demands. And then, Esther points her finger and delivers the devastating truth. An adversary and enemy. This vile Haman. The color drains from Haman's face. He is trapped. The king, furious, storms out into the palace garden. Haman, terrified for his life, stays behind and falls on the couch where Esther is reclining, begging for his life. At that exact moment, the king returns. Seeing Haman on the queen's couch, he misinterprets the scene and his rage boils over. The trap Haman set for Mordecai has just sprung on himself. One of the king's attendants points out, a gallows 75 feet high stands by Haman's house. He had it made for Mordecai. The king's order is swift and final. Hang him on it. The reversal is complete. Haman is executed on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. But the danger isn't over. The king's original decree to destroy the Jews still stands, and an edict sealed with the king's ring cannot be revoked. So, the king gives Esther and Mordecai his ring and tells them to write a new decree in the king's name. The new decree doesn't cancel the old one, but it does something just as powerful. It grants the Jews in every city the right to assemble and protect themselves, to destroy any armed force that might attack them. When the fateful day, the 13th of Adar, arrives, the tables have been turned. Empowered by the new decree and with the support of the empire's officials who now fear Mordecai, the Jewish people defend themselves and are victorious over their enemies. To celebrate this miraculous deliverance, Esther and Mordecai establish an annual festival called Purim. It's a time of feasting, joy, and giving gifts to one another and to the poor, a celebration of how their sorrow was turned into joy and their mourning into a day of celebration. The story of Esther is more than just an ancient tale. It's a powerful reminder that our lives have purpose, even when we can't see it. It shows us that one person's courage can change the course of history. Esther wasn't a warrior or a politician. She was a young woman in a terrifying situation who chose to be brave. She teaches us that we shouldn't be afraid to stand up for what's right, even if it means taking a great risk. Her story resonates today, reminding us to never underestimate our own potential to make a difference for such a time as this. Thank you for watching, and if this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more.